Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. And to my right and to your left, of course, is the lovely Julia Perciasepe. Hello, Julia. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
It's been a couple of weeks.
I know. It feels disorienting to be back.
Things
The studio's
around a little, and
yeah.
Where are we? How's it going?
Good, yeah.
I want to tell everyone we're coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at BNN-TV, and you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. We're at 617-708-3290, and Dave and the great staff of BNN are in the other room answering the phone. So if you want to give us a shout, let us know what's going on in your community, in your life, please feel free to do so.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. I'm getting married in 2 weeks, so I'm doing all of these wedding preparation things, and I finally understand why people get into that business, because it's like one big crafts project. It really is.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm painting shutters,
Why?
putting things together, you know, decorations and whatnot. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
good.
getting my creative, it's my creative outlet right now.
Now you're going to be down the Cape for this.
Yep.
Is it going to be a beach type thing outside with the
very casual
seagulls
beach.
and
Well,
shore?
hopefully no seagulls, but yeah, it's on the bay side, so.
Oh, nice, okay.
Yeah, it'll be a little chill.
It won't be as wild if you were down
Won't be
in
as
Nantucket
wild.
or
I'm hoping the tide is okay, so we're not getting married in a mud pit.
No,
but,
no. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
That's very exciting news.
That's kind of.
We'll miss you here.
Yeah.
But only for 1 week. She's going to be back right after that.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. What else is? You know what I did?
Tell me.
Well, first of all, it's been 2 weeks, so
Yes.
there's plenty to talk about.
Yes.
But I do want to remind everybody that we do have tonight, with the East Boston Arts Association is in our gallery. So if you hear some rumbling and what have you, there's a crowd of people arriving for an art opening. We're going to be meeting some of the people. We're actually going to take our walk out into the gallery and do a little location shooting and stuff. So that's getting used to that.
Yeah, the classic BNN gallery walk.
That's what we've got to call it. That's it.
The gallery walk.
I love it. I was at a music festival thing a couple of weeks ago up in West Roxbury, right in my neighborhood. I'm from Rosendale, so Rosendale, West Roxbury. I mean, it's all like, if I can walk there, it's my neighborhood.
Yep.
And it was at the Theodore Parker Church, and it's something that they do up in Maine, and they have a concert there, and they have a concert back here, and it's kind of like 15 or 20 artists, musicians to play, and they play a couple of songs, and they tag off with each other and everything. And I guess I was the only one in the dark, but I'm sitting there, and out walks Stan Strickland. Now, Stan Strickland it's like saying that Miles Davis is here in the jazz world. And I could not believe that Stan Strickland was standing this far in front of me, playing the sax and the flute and singing in his trio. It was such a surprise. And
is he from the area, or did he just
he's here now, I think. You know, but his movie career has taken him to California, so he's done all of his movie stuff kind of there, and his touring is all over the world. I mean, he plays constantly all over the world, but for him to have come in and played 4 songs was like, oh.
That's cool. So was it mostly jazz or all different kinds of music?
It was Pete Seeger type stuff.
Huh.
There was acoustic acts, there was some a cappella acts, there was drumming, all that kind. It was mostly folky stuff.
Was there a name for the festival, or it's just kind of impromptu?
I knew you were going to ask me. No,
festival.
It's the Sweet Chariots Music and Arts Festival, and they've done it a bunch of times. Our good friend Dean Stevens, who has been on the program a couple of times, is kind of the cat that runs it.
That's cool.
So it was very, very exciting. It was so much fun.
Did you play at all?
No. I was strictly there as a ticket guy, and I just wanted to sit back and relax and listen to some music. And I took the opportunity to go up and do that because I'm good friends with Dean, and I want to support what he's doing. But boy, when Stan Strickland came out, I just couldn't believe it. I said, "Wait a minute. Have I passed out or something?" And I got to talk to him.
Oh, cool.
And you know,
did you get an autograph?
No, I didn't go that far.
You didn't go that far.
But I was legitimately like, who's Stan Strickland? That was terrible. I made a
we
complete fool of myself.
Yep, that happens to the best of us.
But it was fun.
Nice. What else is new?
Well, the fabulous Rebecca has graduated from college,
That's
and
right.
we had that this weekend. And you know how you get to be in the first row for the graduation?
How?
You get there 3.5 hours before the graduation starts.
Ugh.
Janice and I,
That's some dedication right there.
We were there, and and I'm saying to myself, oh, but then, when we got to to be the third person in line at the tent, this enormous tent, and I looked at the clock and I went, oh, it's not, this thing doesn't start for 2.5 hours. Within 5 or 10 minutes of me saying that, the line behind us went beyond sight. So I'm saying to myself, God, if we'd have waited a little bit longer, we would
You would have been back.
We would have been back. So they opened it up,
nosebleed.
and we walked in. We walked right down to sat right there. I'm waiting for someone to say, but no.
These seats are reserved.
Reserved. But no, I set up the cameras. We sat right there. It was
so
beautiful.
cool.
It was very, very cool. We're very proud of her.
nice.
We're very. She's the fabulous Rebecca.
There you go.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yep. And what's new? Well, you've got to have something. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, besides the wedding, I've been working.
Oh, that's right.
And,
That's quite a bit
that's
of-
kind of consuming my life right now, let's be honest. But yeah, work, we're just gearing up to release a bunch of stuff. Summer's kind of our slow stuff at work, so at Documentary Educational Resources where I work.
Say it again.
Documentary Educational Resources. Yeah, so summer's kind of our slow time, but we have a lot of things in the works right now, and I've been watching a lot of amazing films because my my director just got back from a festival in Canada called Hot Docs, which is like one of the big documentary film festivals, and so we just have loads and loads of films to go through, and they've just been amazing films.
That's
so
great.
yeah, so it's been a lot of screening days at work, but that's nice for the summer.
Well, no, I think that helps you. I mean, you need to know the material, don't you?
Definitely, definitely.
How big of an organization is it? You have people?
DER?
Yeah.
We're 5 people.
That's amazing. That amazes me.
Yeah, it's really small, but we've been around since 1968. And yeah,
Since 1968?
Since 1968, and we just keep cranking out the films. And
Is there a vault someplace with celluloid in it? Or?
We do have a vault. We do, yes.
important.
A lot of our films actually are being held at the Human Studies Film Archive, which is part of the Smithsonian, and also the Harvard Film Archive. So some organizations which have the climate control, whatnot, which we don't have, are holding some of our old film. And we also have what we call the vault, which is basically a storage unit.
Yeah. A locker downstairs.
Yeah.
I spoke to a bunch of the people at school that are involved in the teachers, of course, and do history and do a lot of those kinds of studies, and they've talked about what a great opportunity it would be for us to become a member where we can just kind of log in and download some stuff. So we're going to be meeting about that sometime this summer. So
cool.
We really want to become a member of that. I know our kids are probably a little younger than your target group, but I think our middle school kids can benefit, especially where I'm doing audio visual with them, and to be able to see some, how documentaries, maybe documentaries on documentaries. I don't know,
There are documentaries on documentaries.
Yeah, I mean,
on documentaries.
It must be fascinating. I think
Meta documentaries.
On documentaries.
But yeah, I mean, kids these days, the way they learn is through media.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important. I mean,
It's
we don't
so
want them to
bright.
be staring at a screen all day, but I think it's an important way to kind of show them the world.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. There's the media savviness of our young middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders is phenomenal. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why documentary film especially has just kind of taken off, skyrocketed in terms of popularity, because, my generation and then the generation coming up is, they are so media savvy that they're getting behind cameras and they're doing things by themselves and they're just making it happen. So it just, the rate at which documentary films are being made are just increasing like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
media.
really interesting.
I remember as a younger person saying that this cool new thing, Yahoo, was coming. And I know Yahoo's still there, but you couldn't make phone calls when I was media savvy.
Yeah.
But today, it's an entirely different story. Speaking of media, speaking of media, how do people get in touch with us if they'd like to drop a line? Yes,
you can check out our YouTube site. It's All About Arts 1 on YouTube, and this show actually will be up there sometime tomorrow afternoon.
Yep.
And the show is actually also currently streaming live on the BNN website, which is
www.bnntv.org.
pretty cool.
Which is very cool.
Very cool.
And while you're saying that, in New Jersey, I have to say hello to Bud.
Shout out.
Shout out to Bud down in New Jersey, because he logged on or had a friend or somebody that told him that a friend was on.
Oh, cool.
And he got on the internet and checked it out. So, Bud, if you're out there, thank you very much for the kind words. He said that I was pretty good and that you were fabulous.
Thanks, Bud.
So, but there's also a way to get directly to us. To us now, too, isn't there? There's
straight beamline, straight to us. You can tweet us through our Twitter account at It's All About Arts. And we would love to hear from you. Tell us about events or what you're up to. You can tweet us your website, you know, a little self-promotion, whatever you want to do. Well,
we're all for any of that.
Yeah.
So are you making the centerpieces? Because you are crafty.
I am very crafty, and I'm very much enjoying it. I am, the centerpieces.
Let me back up that question.
Okay.
How much of your hand is in there? Are you like
a lot?
People running everything through you?
It's a very simple wedding. I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy, but
only 1,000 people, that type of thing,
right? So you know, my centerpieces are just pots with flowers in them. They're not.
They're beautiful.
I'm not creating some elaborate centerpiece, but yeah.
No, but you want it to be your special day, And,
yes.
And I'm involved in quite a few weddings. I mean, I've only been married once, but I've been, which is 30 years next month.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I play at weddings and stuff, and I see all kinds of amazing, incredible things.
I'm sure, yeah, it's.
And I got to tell you, the most memorable and the most poignant ones are the ones that they say, "Let's be calm and simple.
Yeah, tone it down a little bit.
Let's not go crazy here." Because the more crazy it gets, the more opportunities there are for things to fall over.
Yeah, and the more expensive it gets.
Oh, no, never mind.
More complicated.
I'm not even talking about the expense. I'm just talking about the way it goes. And people afterwards go, "Was that a beautiful," just keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it real.
No, I don't have any acrobats. I don't have fireworks or anything like that.
Well, that's good.
I kind of wish I had an acrobat, but
it's not too late. I got someone right here.
For those acrobats out there, tweet me and I'll hook
It's
you
All
up.
About Arts. Let us know.
But I won't pay you.
No, we've run out of funds.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Listen, gang, I do want to take a couple of seconds to talk a little bit about the people that help us stay here. We're very, very fortunate and happy about our relationship with the Boston Main Streets program. Boston Main Streets is a nonprofit organization that helps revitalize the business districts around the city of Boston. And, it started when the former mayor, the great former mayor of the city of Boston, Tom Menino, was then city councilor. And he was a city councilor out in Ward 20 out in our area. And he brought in 1986, 85, he brought a then very little known program called Main Streets to Rosendale, which at that time was a non-destination. It was someplace that everybody rolled up, the grades came down and the whole thing. But he brought it to Rosendale to test it out in an urban setting, in a city. And over the years, Rosendale has grown into this destination. It has turned into a place where people are proud to be part of, people can't wait to get into. Property values go crazy. Everything is very, very nice and stuff. And I'm mentioning the great mayor, former mayor, because the current mayor made sure that kind of program was going to continue. And we here at It's All About Arts want to make sure that we do shout out to to the great great Mayor Walsh, who infused a 30% across the board increase in funding.
Yeah.
That is huge for him to do that, to make sure that these programs continue on. So we want to thank Main Street for all the work that they do. They help revitalize business districts, and they've been supporting us for many years, so we want to thank them for the work that they do. I also want to take a couple of seconds and talk a little bit about this amazing building we're in. We are so fortunate to be working with and for an organization like BNN-TV. Boston Neighborhood Network is your opportunity to get on TV and produce television. It's also your opportunity to get your nonprofit over here, sit down here and talk a little bit about the things that your mission, what is your mission? How do you want to get things out there? So there's all of those kind of things that you can do here at BNN. You can take classes in Final Cut Pro and lighting and audio, how to use these amazing cameras. We're surrounded by these amazing students here from different colleges around the area, and they come here to learn how to do live television. So, you know, they're going to find out what happens if the guest does this. Do they move? They do. See? What happens? But that's what you get to do here at BNN if you become a member. And you get to produce your own programming and get it here on the air. So if you're interested in getting involved in anything like that, go to www.bnntv.org. Click on what's playing right now, because that'll be us. And click on Janice Williams' name or Jim Atwood's name. Get some information from them. They'll tell you all about what BNN-TV is all about and how you can become a member and how you, too, can be doing some live television and learning how to do it. So this is the place to do it. We have a Julia's World today.
We've got a Julia's World. Good. And some great guests.
We have some great guests. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah.
We got all the J's in the house today.
I know. Yep.
June Krinsky is here, and Gerald Fritz. Oh, is Gerald going to be with us? Yes, Gerald Fritz. Jason Fitz-Gerald. We're going to talk to him in a little while, too. Yep. But we've also got the entire East Boston Arts Association out in the gallery. So listen, gang, we're going to take a break. We're going to do a Julia's World, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to talk with June for a little while, find out a little bit about East Boston, what's going on over there, the different things that are happening. Listen, gang, you're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams. This is Julia Perciasepe, and we will be back in just a couple minutes. Don't go away. You're going to enjoy this part of the show. We'll be right back.
Comes a time when everybody needs to be with someone. Well, now's the time when I have realized you're that someone. How could I have been so blind when you have been there all this time? I need you, I want you, can I have you by my side? 'Cause I love you and I want you, can I have you? When you have been take a real close look at all the things that you've done for me. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Now how could I have been so blind when you have been there all this time? I need you, I want you. Can I have you by my side? 'Cause I love you and I want you. You gotta let me have you by my side, by my side, by my side. Oh, baby, need you by my side, by my side.
Hey folks, welcome back to It's All About Arts. I'm just going to quickly do a Julia's World, but I also want to remind you that you can get in touch with us by tweeting us at It's All About Arts, or you can call, as Glenn likes to say, Dave and the gang at 617-708-3290 if you have a question or a comment or want to tell us about something that's going on in your area of Boston. So speaking of Boston, for Julia's World this week, I have 3 events. The first is High Notes of Jazz Roxbury, which is held by Discover Roxbury, the organization Discover Roxbury. And that's Saturday, June 21st at 11 a.m., meeting at Ruggles. And it's a walking tour that is based on Discover Roxbury's 2012 oral history project. And it explores Roxbury's rich jazz history. You might have heard Glenn's talk about his encounter with a jazz legend earlier this past week in Roxbury as well. And so, you know, as the home of Pullman Porters and a lot of the civil rights movement leaders before the civil rights movement, it's just full of history and a great tour. So go check that out, and you can find out more information at discoverroxbury.force.com. Second is the Shakespeare to Hip Hop event at the Museum of African American History in downtown, and that basically is a performance of poetry which features the National Poetry Slam champion Reggie Gibson and Marlon Carey, who's another well-known slam poet, and that is actually tomorrow. So if you are interested in that, make sure to check out information at the museum's website, which is www.maah.org. Again, that's tomorrow, June 3rd, from 6 to 7 p.m. So if you're interested, check it out because it's tomorrow. And last, the last event is going to be a weekly event in Watertown. You may know the Arsenal Mall as being the place where, after the marathon bombings, there was the chase. But they've kind of they're under new management now, and they have this thing called the Arsenal Project, and they're redoing the whole area. And so every week they're going to be having something called Art Show Saturdays, which is going to be a handmade art market featuring about 30 local artisans. And if you're interested, if you're an artist and you want to display your wares, definitely check it out. But yeah, so it'll be a weekly market, and there's going to be food trucks, and it's free, so go check it out. It's going to be a really great development for that area. And that's all I have for Julia's World this week. So I want to jump right into our first guest. I want to welcome June Krinsky-Rudder. Hi, June.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And so you've come kind of representing the East Boston Artists Group. who has a show out in our BNN gallery. Can you tell me a little bit? You're one of the founding members.
Correct.
Can you tell me a little bit about the founding? Was there just this need in East Boston? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, we thought there was a need. What happened was Zoomix, which is a well-known music organization in the neighborhood, had put out an ad. They were offering exhibition space for artists.
Yeah.
And so by the time I called, it was already filled up, but they said, would you like to teach a course? And so I started teaching, but all the artists started connecting. And so for a while, we started talking about starting a group. And at one point, we said one person had a barbecue, and I said, I'm only coming if we start the group. So 3 of us got together, and we started the group.
Good.
And there really was no real organized group at that point that had still been in existence. So we started small with like little get-togethers and critiques, and then we started exhibiting first at Zoomix, and that was really key to us growing. And then eventually we moved into the studio building at 80 Border Street, and probably, I think it was about 6 months, and maybe less, after moving in there, we had our first open studios.
Great, wow.
So
working fast. Nice. And how many members do you have?
It varies, because we've had a lot of people moving in and out of the neighborhood. We don't really have a formal structure, so we've almost become sort of a loose group that kind of meets mostly like on the eBag Yahoo group, and we communicate that way, but we've also branched off into other things. So we have the Atlantic Works Gallery, which is upstairs in the building, and we do the open studios, and so we have different things going on all the time in the neighborhood.
Great. And do you have a studio in that building?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
I was one of the first artists in the building, and I've stayed there since. And now I'm in a bigger studio than I was in before, and I'm down 1 floor, but it's a great building to be in.
That's so fantastic. And so what do you guys look for when you look for an exhibition space? Are you the one actively finding
Thankfully,
events?
not right now.
Okay.
I have been occasionally. A lot of times it's really somebody will hear about something, and they're looking for something with the neighborhood. So a lot of times when we've had exhibits, it's just something that features exhibits from East Boston artists. And that's been primarily how we've gone about it. So it's anybody that really either lives and or works in East Boston can show their work when we do any East Boston artist group related things.
That's great. And so were people excited when you told them that this was happening at BNN and branching out into other areas of Boston?
We were very excited because it's a new venue for us. We haven't been, the last time I was personally on the show talking about open studios was when this organization was in its old building.
Right.
So to come down here, I've been hearing about this building for the longest time, and to actually come in here and get to see it.
It's amazing, right?
It is really amazing.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And the work looks beautiful out there.
Yeah.
It's a nice space, and it's nice and intimate, and people can get to see everything.
Yeah. It's been such a pleasure having, the different neighborhoods of Boston come in and represent themselves. I mean, you can really kind of see a different kind of character in each neighborhood almost. Maybe I'm just reading into things, but yeah, it's really exciting. And so you have a piece in the show.
I do have a piece out there.
And so what is that piece called?
That one, I'm trying to remember the name of which one it is, because I submitted a few, and I'm trying to remember the name of the one that got selected. I think it was Islands and Water or something of that nature, because there were a few pieces within that series. And what I had done is I had, that particular one is a reduction woodblock print, but I also had some that were partial reduction woodblock prints that were in that series that I went back into with other materials. So I have about 5 pieces in the series.
Forgive me because I'm not an artist, but what does reduction wood block print mean?
So you have a drawing that you put on a piece of wood, and you actually use tools and scrape away.
Right.
So what you would do is you would print, and then in that particular case you would scrape away more and print again, and scrape away more and print again.
So layered on top of each other, taking away the wood?
Right.
Oh, okay. So interesting. And is that the kind of medium that you typically work in, or is this something new for you?
I work in just about anything. It's I find that I get I don't know if somebody's bored with things, but I like to experiment. I like to play. So whenever I have an opportunity to work with something new, I generally try it. I work with a lot of recycled materials.
Very nice.
I started as a painter, but now I do a lot of sculpture as well.
Mostly abstract work?
Yes. Definitely mostly abstract work. The funny thing, I have one somewhat realistic piece, and when I do prints of my work, that's the one that sells the most.
Interesting. Yeah, so I think we have a couple of examples of your work, if we can pull those up, and you can tell us a little bit about them.
Sure.
Do we have those? Nope, we don't have those. Okay. So you do sculpture, woodblock, painting. When you're in the studio, kind of what gets you into your mood? Your
music.
Music?
Yeah. The first thing I do when I go in is I put on usually a little R&B or disco, depending on whether I need a lot of energy or just a little.
Nice.
And then I have a lot of material in my studio because I work with a lot of recycled things. So I have a membership at the Extras for Creative Reuse Recycle Center up in Lynn. And so when I get things from there, I have them sort of organized, and depending on what I'm in the mood for, I'll just kind of look, what's in this container, and I start playing.
That's fun. So what inspires you to use recycled material? Is that,
I just feel like it's going to only go into a dump somewhere and pollute the planet, and I can create something beautiful out of something that somebody was getting ready to throw away. I would rather do that and give it a different life and use it and feel like I'm doing something for the planet as well.
That's great. So where can people find your work? Are you exhibiting anywhere currently besides the BNN
here
gallery?
Right now, I teach full time, so it's really hard to do that as often as I'd like. So I try to really schedule my exhibiting around my teaching. But what we have right now, if you went to eastbostonartistgroup.org, you can find a little bit of information about our open studios. The website's right now under construction. I'm not sure if it's set up completely now. They were working on it earlier today, so it might be ready. And so there's also Eastie Week going on, and there are a whole bunch of events going on in East Boston. So if you look up Eastie Week, you can also find other fun things to get involved in.
And what are the dates for that, Eastie Week?
It starts this week, actually starting on Friday, and then through next week.
There we go. I should have had that in Julia's world. That's awesome. And so that's art and just kind of everything?
It's art. Or? There are sailing out in the harbor. There's music. There's just a lot of the nonprofits in the neighborhood have gotten together. It's the first time they're doing it, and they're hoping that it's going to become an annual event.
Well, that's fantastic. So tell everybody where, again, they can find information about the East Boston Artists Group.
Sure. It's eastbostonartistgroup.org.
Okay. And do you have a personal art site?
Not right now. I'm in the process of redoing that as well.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're going to head out to Glenn and check out some of the other artwork. Do we have Glenn out there?
Well, good evening, gang. Well, thanks for hanging in there with us. Thank you, Julia. That was great. I'm out here now in the gallery, the BNN gallery, with some of the members and some of the artists from the East Boston Arts Association. I want to first start off by saying hello to Wendy. Hello, Wendy. How are you?
Hi, good.
Thank you very much for coming here. You and I met last Saturday when it came time to hang, or 2 Saturdays ago when it came time to hang the work up, right? Tell me a little bit about how the artists and how this whole thing came to be.
Well, I was actually invited to curate the show by the East Boston Harbor Association.
Is that the name of the organization?
East Boston Artist Group.
Sorry.
East Boston Artist Group, and it's made of several veteran members that have been a part of the Atlantic Works building, and also some
and you
other
are,
studios.
I'm sorry?
Marie Stein-LaRoque.
Hi, Marie. Nice. Thank you for coming. I appreciate this. Let's talk a little bit about the reaction that some of the artists. We've got some of the artists here. You are?
Jason Fitz-Gerald.
Jason, thank you very much for coming. When the call came out for that there was going to be something like this happening here at BNN-TV, what kind of reaction did some of the artists have? Well, what did you have?
Well, I was very excited about doing this. You know, I'm always looking for opportunities to show my work. And so when Marie told me about this kind of stuff like that, she was in the process of preparing a website for me, so I told her to pick.
Web design, very good.
And submit, and some of the stuff she submitted were selected.
Right. If we could get a look at, I think, do we have some of the images back there in the studio? If we could maybe take a look at some of the things that we're looking at out here, because I'll tell you, it doesn't do us justice to see some of the, but if we can bring up, there's a piece right there. Who are we looking at right now? Maureen O'Connor. That's a beautiful piece, and it looks like it's an oil on canvas, right? It's a fairly large piece too, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you know? Yeah, okay. What else do we have up there, David? Hello, David. There you go. Okay, we're going to work our way right down the hall here. This is a nice piece. This has turned out to be a favorite of a lot of people here. Who is this?
Sarah Rushford.
Sarah Rushford?
Yep, Sarah Rushford. She's one of the newer artists in the building, and she's been working on some semantic pieces as well as some wheat flour pieces down there.
Okay. So why don't we shuffle down a little bit while we look at the next image. What else do we have in there, David?
This is the one.
You've got to come too. That's very beautiful. That's a nice piece there. What is this? Who is this piece?
I think that's B. Moore's piece.
Yeah. That's very, very nice. Now, that's very dimensional, and there's lots of different angles there. Someone's calling. That's great. Is she from East Boston? Is she an East Boston
she's
artist?
She's a part of the East Boston Artist Group.
Yeah, and she has done a lot of public art, and she's contributed to building, there's an Urban Wild, the Condor Park that is a part of East Boston, and she helped do sculptures and rock pieces that have become like a part of a nature park.
Right, right,
and
nice.
She continues to do work in big museums and also public art in the shipyard.
Yeah, there's a huge event coming up in Eastie, right?
Yep, and Eastie Week.
Eastie Week, what's that all about?
Which kicks off on Friday, June 6th at the Atlantic Works Gallery. And we're going to be having like art, music, culture, and restaurants being featured. And this is sort of highlighting the upcoming Eastie Week that is going to be pretty phenomenal.
That's great.
We're going to have free sailing, lots of different programs targeting all different kinds of populations and things that are brand new to East Boston.
That's great. Well, you and I both know the place that I miss the most over there in East Boston.
The Cultural Exchange Center.
The Cultural Exchange Center was one of my favorite rooms, and you've done work there too.
Yes, yes, I directed a play there. I've had a show there. It was a wonderful little venue.
Maybe we've got to work at getting that place back again. I think that would be nice. Can we bring up another image? Yes, this one here is beautiful, and I believe we have the artist here. Hi, what's your name?
Moni.
Moni, hi, how are you? Talk to me a little bit about this piece here.
I'm from China and studied art in museum school. But
the museum school here in Boston?
Yes,
great place.
But most of my subject is still homesick about my hometown work.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I'm living in Boston and painting my hometown dream is. So I basically just only working this subject. Once they tell me that there is a show, I feel like I need to support it. Because I'm living here, new immigration, so I like to show my support, so I'm participating in the show.
Tell me a little bit, what's the medium you're using here?
This is acrylic.
Acrylic on canvas?
Yes, acrylic on canvas.
It's beautiful, I love it. It's an inspiring piece. I mean, I use acrylic too, but I'm more of a abstract guy. You know, I kind of
do abstract too, but I do also landscape too.
Well, it's very, very beautiful. You know, we're going to talk one more. Abby, come here. Come here. This guy here is one of the big fans of the art here. Tell me a little bit about what you feel about the art. What's one of your favorite pieces here?
I think it would be interesting to know who the art, something about this particular artist, Jason.
Well, Jason's going to step into the studio with us in a little while, and we're going to actually be talking to Jason about his work. His work is very moving, very strong pieces, you know. So we're going to get a chance to meet Jason as an artist in a little bit. That's really, really beautiful work. You know what? I think that what we have to do, what time do we have? Anybody have a clock on them? Yeah. Tell me what time it is.
It's 20 to 7.
Oh, we've got to take a break. Okay, listen, gang, thanks an awful lot for being here with us. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a step back into the studio, and Jason's going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit about being an artist in the city of Boston. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You are watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away.
Sure.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
and roll fits you. Hey, hey, rock and roll. Hey, hey, rock and roll. A real good time. A friend of mine is giving eyesight to the blind. Electric wires, they never tire. They echo from a distant time. Hey, hey, rock and roll. Hey, hey, rock and roll. And I will give you all that I can. If you would show me a better plan than to jam the night away. This rock and roll will be the death of me. I'm suffocating in a pounding deep down in perfect harmony. The things I see on my TV, the death throes of society. I lost my soul to rock and roll. 'Cause rock and roll will set you free. Hey, hey, rock and roll. Hey, hey, rock and roll. Hey, hey, rock and roll. Hey, hey, rock and roll.
Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging out with us, hanging in there. My name's Glenn Williams, and you are watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. We were just out in the gallery, which we haven't named yet. We still have to think about that, but if you have an idea for our gallery, give us a tweet at itsallaboutarts.com. No, just at It's All About Arts.
No com.
I'm a dinosaur. Sorry, but listen, it is my great pleasure and honor to drag from the gallery and bring him into the studio, ladies and gentlemen. We have him here, Jason Fitz-Gerald. Jason, how are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you so much for coming in for us tonight.
Sure enough, sure enough.
We got to touch a little bit about the support and stuff that you've been giving to the East Boston Arts Association. But I think it's important that once we get in here that we talk a little bit about you as an artist. I like to meet an artist every week. You know,
That's a good thing.
Yes, it's a good thing.
Yes.
And my standard question, I know you watch the show all the time, so you know this first question. I'm only teasing you. If we had to categorize you as an artist, let's say you were doing a website and there was a pull-down menu and you had to say the kind of artist you are, abstract, you know, whatever. And there had to be some kind of label you had to give yourself as an artist. It's a toughie. Pick one. What would you do?
Wow, you started with a very, very difficult question. Very, very difficult.
It's the way I make people feel comfortable.
Because I mean, I've been asked this many times before, and I don't really know how to categorize my work.
That's an answer. That's okay.
I don't really know how to do it. It goes off in so many different directions because I work in so many different mediums. So I just let it be what it is and let people themselves define it.
Yeah. Is your art something that you mull over, and is it something that one of the images out here is very strong. It's an amazingly strong image, and I hung the show, and while I was hanging it, I'm saying things to myself. Well, I wonder what the reaction is going to be. I wonder what people think. And then I stopped myself halfway through a sentence, and I said, "That's exactly what art is supposed to do. It's supposed to make people think, and it's supposed to get a reaction out of people." Is that something that you find?
Well, I tell you what. When Obama got elected, when he became the president, my art took a different turn. And in a way where I wanted to tell a story, to have a trajectory from Africa to the White House. So my art depicts certain eras of things that have happened during this whole journey.
The travels of a nation?
The travels of a nation, travels of a people. I remember there's a piece that I have that the day that he got elected, there were quite a few newspapers with headlines and stuff like that. And I saw this guy sitting on, I think it was MGH stop with a newspaper, and it looked so, it's like, this is a moment. So I photographed it and went home and painted it. So my work, to come back to my work, I am trying, and this takes it's a very deep and very haunting journey. Sometimes I have to pull back and stop doing this because it's a lot of searching to document a people from slavery or even before slavery to the present time and beyond. So you got to get deep, and it's very, very, very painful.
Right. Well, you and I, we lived through civil rights, but we don't know what it must have been like to be taken from a nation and to be sold as property.
Nope. Personally, no.
Yeah.
But I guess we all have some kind of connection to the same spirit.
Yes, I believe that.
I heard a quote one time that says, "The human condition is not alien to me because I'm human."
Right.
So you don't divorce yourself from any of that stuff. To stop, to think, to feel, to get a little bit deeper and put yourself in the other person's place.
Right. Yeah.
Would in some kind of way take the scale off of your eyes and make you feel just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that might be enough. Or not.
Well, I think any spark, anything we can instill, any kind of spark we generate in somebody, it's the kind of the feeling, it's the, when I said I'm sitting, I'm hanging, I'm looking at it, I'm this close to it. Okay, if we can bring up the piece I'm talking about, that would be, I'm this close to it, and I'm hanging, and I'm saying to myself, well, what are people gonna, and I'm saying, that's exactly what I want. I want people to think, and I want people to feel, and it's great. It's fabulous.
Thank you.
It's a fabulous piece.
Yeah, it's very wrenching because I also write poetry.
Well, you also do plays too.
And
right?
yes, I write poetry. So I am trying to find a voice, or my voice, and to say the things I want to say or the things I feel in this creative outlet, be it art or theater or dance. And I'm interested in all of that kind of stuff. So wherever the avenue, wherever I feel the whisper and the beckoning to go, that's where I go.
Is it always a strike of lightning? I mean, is it something that, or do you kind of sit and say, okay, what do I want to do today? Or is it something that has to be from within?
No, I am constantly looking at and listening to the news and seeing things and cutting out pictures and stuff like that. And when I get to the studio, this is something that used to happen. I would have a specific thing I would want to do. And somewhere along the line, it would change, and I would fight with my work. I stopped fighting with my work many years ago. I let the work and the brush and the spirit and the moment take me. And I said, there's something bigger than me that's telling me something. So I'm learning from that.
Yeah.
So I don't fight with my work anymore.
Right.
I go to the studio, and most of my work I do on wood.
Yes, the pieces that are out here are on wood.
So I may sit and look at grains of a wood and let the grains of the wood and myself have a conversation.
Yeah,
yes.
I know that
We
feeling.
have this conversation before I venture to do anything, and then even in the process of creating, it can change. It does change, you know.
Julia, let me ask you, when you go to a gallery or you go someplace, or you're here and you see a piece of art that talks to you, that comes right out and speaks to you, is it comfort? Is it uncomfortable? Is it something of a spiritual thing? What is it about art that can really instill you to kind of remember that piece later?
Yeah, well, I think it's different for every person, obviously. For me personally, it's if I can be immediately kind of transported to another time or another place, and kind of I position myself in that place. So, you know, if it's a field with cows or something, I'm there, you know? Or in the case of that image that you have on your work, you know, I'm in front of him on the, you know, he's sitting in that chair and I'm in front of him, or I'm behind him, you know. So it's...
You immerse yourself in the piece. That's good.
And so you can have that kind of gut emotional reaction. You know, you can't be far apart and have an emotional reaction to a piece of artwork.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've noticed people having, I mean, this is not the only piece I have that you might call powerful. And people have come to the studio.
Am I calling it the wrong thing?
No. People come to the studio and sometimes it hits them in such a way that they turn right out and leave.
Get disturbed, yeah.
Yes.
That's a reaction.
There's a piece I have on a lynching. And there are other pieces that I have that, and I said that this
I don't want to use the word disturbing. I want to use the word powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah. The power of the piece.
Well, it does definitely shakes a comfort zone somewhere.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. If it doesn't, you're
yeah.
not being human, you know? If it doesn't shake you, you're not being a human. Well,
I think some people are more sensitive to that kind of imagery than other people, and I think, you know, some people address it up front, and some people they can't, you know.
I love when people come to the studio, they see stuff like this, and then they ask questions.
Yeah.
And they're very interested in.
I want to make sure we see the other piece. Here's the other piece here.
I love that.
So, you know, this calls out to me that this is a family at home in a working, I don't know.
Well, the tall, you see how tall they are?
Yes.
And it's just to say that you are taller than you think or people say you are.
What part of the journey is this? You know, you talk about your artwork takes this journey. So where?
Well, at one time, it was a problem of people even learning how to read, and then they started, somewhere along the line, started owning things. And this is to celebrate all of that stuff.
Jason, we've got to bring you back.
Thank you, sir.
We've run out of time.
Thank you.
You've got a journey. You've got your own personal trip that we need to talk about at some point. Can we have you come back, please?
Sure.
Is that possible?
Sure.
Jason, thank you so much for being here. We're at the end of our time.
Thank you
so much. Listen, gang, thanks for being here. We are running out of time. We want to thank you very much for being here with us and spending a little time with us. Thank you to the East Boston Arts Association. Listen, gang, get out there and do something artful for yourself. And like we like to say every week, please keep in the forefront of your minds our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Please do it for them, okay, gang? We'll see you next week, okay? Bye-bye.